everyone, my name is Kaylie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so as you guys can tell, today I am doing a voiceover. I know this is super random, but I've had a really bad cough the past 2 days and I would have had to edit this video for like a million hours if I were to film it regularly. So yeah, here we are. Anyway, so let's get into today's story time. I'm going to bring you guys up close. There we go. Okay, so for those of you who may be new here, I'm going to do my quick usual little rundown. For most of the video, I will be looking in this direction because my mirror's over here and I would like to see what I'm doing. I do tell these story times in a first person point of view, so if you don't like that, then you can leave.
There's the door.
And these story times are sent in by anonymous people. Okay, story time about my high school love triangle. So all this happened whenever I was 16 and a sophomore in high school, but we're gonna go back to whenever I was 14. So, you know, I'm in middle school, and around this time, my brother's sister and I were all taken away from my mom and put into foster care. But after a couple months, the courts allowed my Nana to be a foster guardian until my mom got back on her feet and could take us back. But until then, like I said, we were with my Nana. So I ended up finishing 8th grade in a different city. It wasn't bad though, honestly. I had made a really good amount of friends, but after a year of being with my Nana, my mom finally got her shit figured out and my siblings and I were allowed to go back home with her, thank God. And it wasn't even like my Nana's was bad, it was just that I miss being with my mom. And so did my siblings. Like, we all wanted to be with our mother. So fast forward, now my siblings and I are back in our hometown and I just started my freshman year in high school. Fast forward, the one day my mom is driving me to school and she sees color guard posters and she was telling me about how she used to do it when she was back in high school and it was super fun. By the way, for those of you who don't know what color guard is a group of female students who perform while utilizing flags, equipment, dance choreography, and character work to add the visual component to the annual marching band and winter color guard shows. That was a lot, but this is pretty much what it looks like. Anyway, so I figured that since my mom used to do it when she was younger, I should try it out for myself. I mean, she really hyped it up, so I was like, all right, you know what? Let me see what happens. So I joined, and a couple days later, I meet this guy who was pretty cute, and he asked me out like right after we met. Of course, I say yes, then fast forward a couple weeks, and I'm not gonna lie, homie started to give me the ick. Really bad. Not only that, but the relationship was moving way too fast. Like, he was always being super touchy with me, and when I would tell him I thought we were moving too fast, he literally just wouldn't listen to me. I mean, are we shocked though? Are we shocked that a guy is not taking a girl's feelings into consideration? No, we're not. And I'm not the type of girl who's like, oh, well, since we're in a relationship, we can fool around and sleep together now. No.
Not around here, partner. Not around here.
So I dumped him, and that was the end of that, thankfully. Well, right after this, a boy named Tyler that I used to be in middle school with, him and I had reconnected after he apologized to me. Why did he have to apologize, you might ask? Well, because back in middle school, almost right after him and I became friends, we quickly stopped being friends because all of his friends would bully me. And there wasn't really any time to squash the beef because, like, right after that, I had moved away because I was put in foster care. Anyway, so like I said, he apologized, we squashed the beef, and then him and I actually vibed really well together. And then, you know, some time passed and we start catching feelings for each other, blah, blah, blah. And eventually he asks me out. So after him and I start dating, things were going great. Like, this is how I expected my other relationship to go. I mean, I'm happy it didn't go like this, but you guys know what I'm saying. Okay. Anyways, so we were hanging out 24/7. I would go to some of his basketball games, but basketball was a super important sport at my school. So he started getting busier and busier. And it started getting hard for him to make time for me. Not only that, but he had made a bunch of new friends playing basketball. And y'all can probably tell how this is about to go because yes, after he made these new friends, he started becoming super distant. If I'm being honest, now that I think about it and look back, this is probably one of the roughest times to have a relationship when you're like in middle school and high school, because that transition from middle school to high school, you're with 3 grades of kids that you did not know the year before. So for y'all to drift apart and for your partner not to have time for you anymore because they made new friends, honestly, I feel like this is something that happens a lot. I've seen it happen. I kind of went through it low-key, but yeah. Anyway, so like I said, Tyler starts becoming super distant, and I knew immediately that something was going on because him and I were about to hit our 1 year and 2 months, and nothing happened to create this distance between us. Like, our relationship was completely normal. We haven't had any huge arguments or anything. It was literally just basketball and these new friends, which I still feel like shouldn't have changed anything between us. So while he's off with his new best friends having a good old time, I'm sitting over here trying to figure out what is going on with our relationship. And that's another thing that happens a lot of the time, you know? Whenever the one person isn't into the relationship anymore, they're out having a good time, you know, doing what they want to do. And then the other person's left to sit there and ask what the hell is going on with their relationship, you know? But I try to convince myself that he's never done anything like this before, and we just got into high school, so there's no reason for me to sit here and think that, you know, he's doing something else behind my back, like cheating. So, you know, I don't say anything to him about it, which, looking back at it now, I really wish that I would have. One thing that we all need to realize is communication in a relationship is so important. Like, if you think that something is going on with your partner, ask them. Because if your partner is acting a certain way and you let it run on, there's going to be a bigger issue later on. And even if your partner says that nothing's going on, tell them if anything is going on. They can always come to you and you're always there for them. Because I feel like sometimes, even in a relationship, when you're going through something, you forget that your significant other is somebody that you can talk to. Especially for those of us who never had anybody whenever we were younger that we could go to for any of our problems, we like to keep everything in and then just not tell anybody, and then our actions just start changing. Anyway, so a few months go by and he's getting more and more distant every day. Like, we don't sit together at lunch anymore. He hangs out with his new friends 24/7, doesn't make time for me, the same old shit. We don't hang out outside of school. We don't walk in the hallways together anymore. Actually, now that I think about it, it is not even the fact that he didn't have time for me. He could have made time for me. It's just the fact that he wanted to spend all this time with his new friends instead of me. Well, fast forward, the day that I was dreading finally came, where I got the text message from Tyler saying we need to talk.
Derek, stop doing it. Get up.
And if any of you have ever gotten this text message, I am so sorry. That is like one of the worst text messages that you could ever get, and I feel like it happens at like the worst times. I mean, there really isn't a good time to get this text, but I mean like when you're out having fun. Like, it'll be whenever you're having a really good day, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, bam, you'll get a text from someone you've caught feelings for or your significant other saying, we need to talk. And then, I don't know about y'all, but every time that this has happened to me, they'll text me, and then I'll text them back fast as fuck, and then they won't answer for hours or until the end of the day. So while they're off having a grand old time knowing that I'm, you know, freaking out about this text, I'm having anxiety attacks and literally just want to crawl into my bed. Like, damn, this is over here giving me flashbacks to this shit. Oh my God. If any of y'all are dealing with a toxic relationship where, you know, you get that text all the time saying we need to talk, I am so sorry and I hope you make it out. Anyways, didn't mean to get that deep, but he told me to meet him at the stairs, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had a feeling that this was coming because we both were logged into each other's Instagrams, and his new friends were messaging him about this girl. They were all saying about how him and her need to get together. They were like, oh, bro, yeah, you need to wife that. Like, what the fuck do you mean? Wife what? We're literally in high school. We literally just got into our freshman year. What is he wifing? Nothing.
Jesus Christ.
And when I had asked him who his friends were talking about, he told me not to worry about it, and then he logged me out of his Instagram. So, yeah, anyways, I don't know if all schools are like this, but in my school, the stairwell is like its own room. Like, at the top of the stairs, there's a door, and then at the bottom of the stairs, there's a door. So it was a little bit more private and blocked off between periods. So anyways, like I said, he told me to meet him there, and I already knew how this was going to go, but whenever I saw him, honestly, it's so humbling to look back on this, but as soon as I saw him, I begged for him not to break up with me. I literally begged him not to break up with me. But then he told me that he just wasn't feeling it anymore, and he wanted to split up for a couple weeks. What do you mean a couple weeks? Let me tell y'all something right now. If a man tells you that he wants to break up for a couple weeks or he wants to take a break, there's no nicer way to say it. He wants to go F something, or he wants to see if things will work out with another person that he has already found. Like, even though that y'all were in a relationship first, you are his backup plan because he found something that he wants more than you, but if it doesn't work out, he's going to keep you there. Like, y'all, I am begging you right now, if a man tells you that they want to break up with you, do not sit there and wait around for them. When a man tells me that he wants to break up with me, my response to that is, I don't take breaks, so if we end this, then it's done for good. Because I'm sorry, you're not about to break up with me and then go do whatever you want to do and then come back to me like nothing happens. Like, I am not one of those he knows where home is type of girls. No. Go back to the fucking dumpster that you crawled out of. Thank you. And another thing, if he says it's a break because he needs to focus on himself, then that means he does not want to focus on you and him. So if you say, okay, yeah, sure, let's take a break, you can focus on yourself. You cannot be mad at him when you see him with another girl because he said he needed a break from you and him. If it's not making sense, moral of the story, if someone tells you they need a break, focus on you, queen, because you do not need that type of energy in your life. Kings and queens, okay? Because you know what? This can happen both ways, period. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, he told me that he wanted to take a break so he could think about our relationship. So then he tells me that he's going to give me a couple days before he actually breaks up with me. So that way I can get my emotions in check. What a sweet guy. Like, what a good guy. Like, oh my God, have your exes ever done anything for you like that? Listen, people, if somebody tells you that they want to break up with you, they're like, oh, we can stay together for a few days though. You're only going to make it harder for yourself. I know you're probably sitting there like, oh, well, you know, I could probably make him fall back in love with me during those few days. You could try. It probably won't work though, because he already has it in his head that he wants to leave. And you're just hurting yourself. So please, for you and for me, leave. Because if you leave without a blink of an eye, he's going to question if he actually made the right decision. Like, he's going to sit back and he's going to be like, she really just left like that? She didn't care? Am I actually making the right decision? Like, what am I doing? Anyway, so of course I was happy that he was going to give me a few days to get my feelings in check. But the one day I was at color guard practice talking to my friends about it, and I was bawling my eyes out because in 2 days, him and I weren't going to be together anymore. And that's whenever my best friend, who is literally my ride or die, like knows everything about my family situation, everything about Tyler and I's relationship. Y'all get it, he's my best friend. So he was trying to cheer me up, and then after I told him about what Tyler told me about giving me a few days, my best friend was like literally about to smack me. He was like, why are you going to do that? He was like, that's just going to cause more hurt for you. Don't drag on the breakup. And I knew he was right, so I texted Tyler and told him, hey, I think we should just break up now. Prolonging this breakup isn't going to do anything for me, and you know that your feelings aren't going to change, so we just need to call it quits right now. So after we broke up, I decided to ask him about that girl again. Remember the one that his friends told him to wife up? Yeah, that one. Well, then he tells me that she hangs out with their friend group and they kind of have a crush on each other. So he wants to get to know her more and he wants to see where things could go with her. And then he starts telling me about how he wants to take her on a date to the fair and do this whole double date or triple date thing with his new group of friends. And this was literally 2 weeks before our 1 year. I was completely heartbroken. Honestly, my mom was super supportive. Like, I'm so thankful for her. But like, bro, I literally felt like he just crushed my heart into pieces. Like, I would wake up in the morning, bawl my eyes out on the bus, bawl my eyes out at school, come home, lay in bed, bawl my eyes out. Like, it was just awful. And my mom, she would just come and sit with me, hugging me, telling me that this is what a heartbreak's going to feel like, and just reassuring me that there is somebody out there who will treat me like a queen, and period, we love that, W mom. Well, after a week of me being depressed, I finally decided to get my ass up out of bed and get my life together, because why am I going to sit here and cry over somebody who one, doesn't care about me or my feelings, and two, literally said, oh yeah, I'll wait for you to get your feelings together for a few days. No, you wanted to wait and see what happened with this girl for a few days so that way you could be like, actually, we don't need to break up. So yeah, I finally decided that I'm going to be happy. I'm going to show him that he is not going to dictate my happiness. Y'all, this is something that all of us should practice. Whenever I was in my situationship, him and I were super on and off, but anytime that I was happy and having fun, he literally would have the nerve to call me and be like, I miss you. I'm sad. You look so happy without me. Because he would be like, oh, like, you're in all these different outfits on your Instagram story. People hate to see you doing good without them, especially when they were the ones who cut you off. It really aggravates them because in their head, they're like, why are they so happy I'm not in their lives anymore? And then they start to question all the things that you said. And then they'll even try to gaslight you. To be honest, they'll be like, oh, you're so happy without me. I know you didn't even love me. That's why I did this. I was right the whole time.
Bruh, shut the fuck up, bruh. You literally don't even know me, bruh. Shut the fuck.
So just remember, after somebody leaves you or abandons you, you don't want to let them know that they have that much control over you where you can't be happy. Anyways, so I get a makeover. I completely changed my style. And when I go to school on Monday, I went to go and ask him how he was doing because him and I are still friends, you know, and we were friends before all of this. So why am I going to be weird about the whole situation? Girl, you are better than me, because the moment that somebody betrays me like that, I'm not gonna hate them, but I'm definitely not gonna go and make sure that they're all right. I keep bringing up like my old situationship that I had, but I learned so many things from it, y'all. It's insane. Like, if he were to reach out to me today, which he can't because I have him blocked on everything imaginable, even Cash App, I would not speak to him because he left me at one of the worst times one of the worst periods of my life I've ever had. And he did not give two fucks about it. He was fine just living his life, didn't care about me, threw me to the side. Ultimately, I'm thankful for the way that things turned out. But yeah, anybody who says that they love you and they care about you would not leave you in a time where you are really going through it. Anyway, so he just kept bringing up how he would never break up with me if I were to go back with him. And it's like, bro, what happened? Like, you weren't saying this a week ago, so what did Shorty do? She tell you she didn't want to be with you? Anyways, it was clear that he obviously still wanted to be with me, but now his best friend also wanted to be with me. And him and his best friends were trumpet players, and they were always with each other. And before Tyler and I started dating, all three of us would usually hang out in a small group, and, well, we stopped hanging out together whenever Tyler and I started dating. Anyway, so fast forward to now, I have both of them texting me and telling me that they have feelings for me, and I would be texting them both at the same time. And, like, one is telling me why I shouldn't be with the other one. It was literally a whole fucking thing. Which I thought was super weird because last time I checked, like I said earlier, Tyler was literally just about to start dating another girl. But I guess you don't know what you have until it's gone, huh, Tyler? Uh-huh. Anyways, and then they started talking shit on each other to me, like telling me all this embarrassing things about each other. It was honestly, I got secondhand embarrassment from them embarrassing each other to me. It's like whenever that one girl is like best friends with someone and her best friend isn't there, and then she starts talking shit on her best friend, and you're sitting there and you're like, girl, I thought that was your bestie. Like, why are you being weird? Anyway, so the one day I'm about to change for practice and I was late, so everybody else was already gone whenever I got into the locker room, and then all of a sudden, Tyler's best friend walks in. And he starts trying to make excuses to hang out with me in the locker room. He was like, oh yeah, I want to smoke in here because I don't want to get in trouble. I'll get in trouble if I smoke in the guys' locker room, da-da-da. Like, I'll make sure to spray cologne so that way it doesn't smell. So I was like, whatever. And then I continue getting ready for practice. And then all of a sudden he comes over really close to me and he's like, I just want you to know that I'm really attracted to you and I think we would be super good together. And then he starts trying to put his hands all on me. And I push him off of me and I'm like, I'm not that type of girl and this just doesn't feel right. So then I grab my shit, run out the locker room because, no, you're nasty. Anyways, fast forward, practice is over, and I stay a little bit after so that way I can talk to Tyler about what happened. And while I'm talking to him, he was like, I would never do that to you if I was with you. He smokes all the time, so he is really never present in the moment, and he probably didn't realize how he came off. Like, I love how he was still trying to defend his best friend, even though, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And then he goes, if I were with you, I would have protected you from that, blah, blah, blah. Honestly, it was getting annoying having both of them on my you-know-what. But around this time, I started texting with Tyler more. And the girl that he was trying to get with had started going out with somebody else. And I didn't know about this because we really didn't talk about this type of stuff. But I was low-key happy because payback's a bitch. Anyway, so come to find out, this girl was actually in one of my classes, and she never liked him at all, actually. Her and I were talking about it, and I never told him that her and I were in the same class, and I never told her that I was Tyler's ex-girlfriend, and she actually is a really sweet girl, so I don't want to bother her with the drama that was going on between Tyler and I, especially when she has a boyfriend. So Tyler and I start talking again, and as much as I wanted to rub it in his face, I didn't, but he started saying that we should get back together, and he's so sorry for how he hurt me, blah, blah, blah. Him and I started talking again, but just to make sure that I wasn't going to get hurt again, I was still talking to his best friend because, like, I needed to have a backup plan just in case, just like he did with me.
Say hi to the YouTube video.
Was I still in love with Tyler, though? Absolutely. So I finally decided to cut off his best friend, and his best friend was low-key pissed off, but I didn't really care because this was the love of my life. Okay, I am super happy that you and your boyfriend got back together. I do want to give a little bit of advice in this situation, though. The thing that I have a problem with is the fact that he left you for another girl. And it seems like the reason why he wanted you back was because she had no interest in him. So because this happened, this is more likely to happen repeatedly in your relationship. So just watch out for that. But I hope that it doesn't. Obviously, I want you to be happy as you can be. And I hope that you and Tyler were able to move past things. Okay, everybody, that is the end of today's story time. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more, maybe hit that subscribe button down below. And if you want to know whenever I post my next video, make sure to click that bell. And if you want to send in your anonymous story time, or you want to know how to send in your anonymous story time, make sure to click the links down below in the description. But other than that, I will see you guys next time with a new story time.